So how much does a $1 million life insurance policy actually cost? Is it $30 a month or $500 a month? The truth is, it depends, and it really comes down to three key factors that most people don't fully understand. So stick with me, because once you understand these, I'll show you some real numbers and even a few extra details that could really save you a lot of time and money later. So first is going to be your age. Life insurance is heavily based on how old you are when you apply. A 25-year-old and a 50-year-old are not going to get the same rate, plain and simple. The younger you are, the lower the risk to the company, and the cheaper your premium will be. Probably because after age 50 is when most health issues really start to rise. Second is your health and lifestyle. This goes way deeper than what most people think, because it includes things like tobacco use, your height and weight, medications you've taken over the last 8 to 10 years, and major hospital visits, DUIs, felonies, and even your risky hobbies like skydiving or spelunking. All of these factors help determine how the insurance company views your risk profile before they insure you for $1 million. If you're just getting a small burial policy, you won't have to worry about half of these questions, really. And three is the type of policy you choose. This is huge. Term life insurance is typically more affordable, sometimes 8 to 10 times cheaper than permanent life insurance. And when it comes to permanent, you have options like whole life, universal life, index universal life, which can cost more because they can be structured to build cash value, provide lifetime coverage, or a combination of both. Once you're locked in, you're locked in. And they are guaranteed to pay out that money to your family at some point. So depending on how the policy is designed, whether it's focused on protection, cash value, or a blend of both, it can impact your premium significantly. Now, when it comes to term policies specifically, you also need to understand the length of the term. These can be 10, 15, 20, or even 30 years. And naturally, the longer the term, the higher the monthly cost, because the insurance company they're covering you for a longer period of time, which is right into those high risk years when some people start having heart attacks, strokes, and cancer, and whatever else might be out there. So these are the big three, but there are a few additional details that can also affect your price. One is whether your policy includes living benefits. These allow you to access a portion of your death benefit tax-free while you're still alive. I had a client pull about $80K out of their policy last year, and that literally saved his home and his business. So if you're diagnosed with something serious like cancer, heart attack, stroke, organ failure, blindness, paralysis, coma, and more, these really do come in handy and protect your assets. But policies with these features can be slightly more expensive, maybe $20 to $50, really just depending on the amount that you're starting with the policy in the beginning. So, but for a lot of people, the added protection is completely worth it. Another important feature is convertibility. A good term policy should allow you to convert some or all of your coverage into permanent coverage for later, with no need for another medical exam. So your health is locked in from what you started. And I've had clients use this when their health has changed, and they were extremely glad they had that option later in life to keep some of that coverage. And finally, you want to shop around, you guys. Don't get stuck working with a captive agent who can only offer you one company. It's usually better to work with a broker who has access to multiple carriers, so you can find the best fit based on your specific situation and get the most competitive rate possible. So if you're working with someone like New York Life, Farmers, State Farm, Primerica, AAA, etc., these agents are captive. They cannot shop around and try to find you a better rate. So now that you understand what actually drives the cost, let's take a look at some real numbers so you can see what $1 million policy might look like for you. So let's start right here with a pretty healthy male, non-tobacco. Ladies, you're going to be about $10 to $20 cheaper. $1 million, 20-year term. As you can see right here, starts at about $35 a month, but let's see what other companies we have as well.
So when we scroll, we want to shop because everyone's health is going to be different. So these are your options right here. You've got instant decision, no physical exams, and then of course your living benefit companies that are going to be a little more expensive. Here's what $1 million in coverage looks like for a 35-year-old male. Same thing, non-tobacco, pretty good health. Here's your carriers right here. Not too far apart. Everyone's pretty competitive. But if you want those full living benefits, this is price is going to change a little bit there. And if you were curious, this is what a 10, 15, 20, 25, 35, 40-year term looks like here. So you can see the longer the term, the more expensive it gets. But 20 to 30 years is right that sweet spot where most people go with. All right, term, $1 million, 45-year-old male, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Let's click on 20, see the comparisons. So it looks like Corebridge still coming in at the lowest price. But you see you got a lot of carriers here that'll take you. So if you do have some health concerns or certain medications, one company might be better than the next. All right, 55-year-old male, $1 million term, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30-year term. You don't get 40 on this one. So you can see it's going up a little bit. And last but not least, 65-year-old male, $1 million in coverage, 10, 15, 20-year term. There you go. You can see that every 10 years that price is going to get bumped up a little more each time. So if we go with the 20-year term, you can see that you still got a lot of options, you guys. Like I said though, certain medications, hospital visits, bankruptcies, each of these carriers is going to have their niche where they will accept you or that's going to be harder to get. So really keep that in mind. And ladies, when you get into this amount of coverage, you're going to be a couple $100 to a couple $100 cheaper than a male. Women get better rates. They're not as high risk.
So there we have it. I hope this helped give you a better understanding of what $1 million actually costs. If you do have any other questions, I have links down below in the description. You can book a call. You can even get a quick quote from the other link down below that. It'll ask you a little bit more detail so you can get an accurate quote the first time. Please like, subscribe, share, help the algorithm find other people that are looking for these questions as well. Till then, I'll see you on the next one.